If you're running a jewelry business or even just starting out and you're not GIA certified, you could be missing out on benefits that can not only help you build credibility and trust with your clients, but also equip you with the tools and knowledge to avoid scams and make better decisions that can bring your jewelry business to the next level. So today, I'll be breaking down how being GIA certified helped me grow and build my jewelry business. My name is Michael, and I am a graduate of GIA, or the Gemological Institute of America, in 2013. I went on to build an online jewelry store called Fire and Brilliance. When I first started working in the trade, I was working in my dad's jewelry store. Okay, so my dad's been in business for a long time. He's been in business now for a couple of decades, actually almost 3 decades in the jewelry industry. So when I first started, I actually worked in his store and I was trying to learn the tricks of the trade. Immediately, what I recognized right away being a young man is that the level of respect and acknowledgement from the clients and customer standpoint was definitely a lot higher to that of my father than as opposed to me. And it came naturally, obviously. It only makes sense because jewelry at the end of the day is a very big ticket item, right? People are spending real money, their wages, their salary, their savings on jewelry. It's not something to take lightly. So if you're buying a piece of jewelry as a client, chances are you're going to want to talk to someone that's a little more experienced, someone that understands what they're talking about. So when I was working in my dad's store, I could immediately recognize that his clients, the people that walked into the store, naturally wanted to work with him. And why, you may ask, is because it comes with experience. It's just like if you were to go into a store and buy anything else, you buy a vehicle, buy a car, buy another big ticket item, whatever it is, you want to work with someone that's been there for a long time that understands the product and the knowledge, and there's no difference when it comes to jewelry. So I immediately recognized that, and I immediately paid attention to how people treated me versus other people. Obviously, they didn't treat me bad, but in order for me to make a sale, in order for me to make a deal, I really didn't know what I was talking about because at the beginning of it all, it was so new to me. Just like when you're starting a new job, how do you really know what you're selling? How do you know the product? It takes time, it takes years, it takes decades to really master the skill set and the knowledge, right? So when I decided I wanted to open my own jewelry business, I knew right then and there that I had to jumpstart and pass that line in the sand where it is going to take away the doubts and the questions of a client ever questioning whether or not I know what I'm doing being such a young man without the experience. And that is where the Gemological Institute of America came in. I knew that if I went to the schooling, it is a trade school, I would immediately have the knowledge and be immediately equipped in order to truly be able to gain the acknowledgement and the credibility from my clients, and rightfully so, because now I know what I'm talking about. And in that case, right after I started GIA and had the credibility, but at the same time the knowledge, I immediately was able to close deals a lot quicker. Selling natural diamonds, okay? Natural diamonds many times are certified these days, either by GIA or other companies, okay? But when I do sell a Gemological Institute of America certificate that has been certified, by, a diamond that's been certified by the Gemological Institute of America, I normally will back it up by saying, hey, I also went to this school. I also went to GIA. And that normally seals the deal because you know what? At the end of the day, what do people really know when they buy a diamond? When they buy a diamond, all they know is that they see a rock that is shiny, that is beautiful, but they don't know the difference between rock A or rock B. And when they buy one that is certified by GIA and backed up by a person selling it that went to GIA, it gives them that much more trust. It gives you as a seller that much more credibility, and that is the reason why I personally went to GIA. If you're just starting out with your business, being GIA certified gives you an advantage over others while you build your experience and connections. Even if you're just starting your business, you'll be better equipped to help your clients gain their trust and feel confident that you know what you are talking about. If you're finding value in this video so far, make sure you certify this video with a like so that others who might need it can also see it as well. So in the jewelry business, not only do people sell jewelry, but they also buy jewelry. So if you have to buy jewelry in order to sell jewelry, how do you know what you're buying? How do you know the quality? How do you know if you can trust the person that is selling it? If they are telling you the right quality versus the wrong quality? How would you know this if you don't know? Again, it comes in two ways of actually learning it. It's either through experience or through learning. And in my case, I learned it through GIA. So for example, in the beginning, when I first started being in the jewelry business, I did go to purchase many diamonds with my father. We went to the diamond district. There are many places where you can buy it, but we went to the diamond district. And my father, the first time he ever took me, he told me, in this game, in this jewelry industry game, it is a hustle. It's a different type of hustle because at the end of the day, jewelry, the beauty is very subjective. Meaning, if you don't know what you're looking for, you can be easily fooled because all diamonds are shiny, can be cut a different way. So how do you know if you're looking at diamond A or B, if they're the same quality or not? How do you know if you're getting the best deal? How do you know if you're not getting ripped off? So in order to know that, you do have to have either one of two things, experience or knowledge. So when I went with my dad, there's a scenario where we went into this one guy that he's never done business with before. They poured out 2 parcels of diamond mellies. If you don't know what diamond mellies are, they're basically smaller diamonds that most people will use in making jewelry, okay? So he poured out a couple of carats in one parcel, he poured out another couple of carats in 2 parcels. He said this one parcel is going for $600 a carat. This other parcel is going for $800 a carat. So in my eyes, when I personally looked at it, being an inexperienced jeweler, I was looking at it. I wouldn't even call myself a jeweler at that point in time because I was just learning, right? I was an aspiring jeweler. You might want to call it that way. So when I personally looked at it, I had no clue what the difference was. They both look shiny to me. They both look nice. They both look round. You could have easily said that there was diamonds, moissanite, lab diamonds, CZ, cubic zirconias. I wouldn't know the difference because at that point in time, I did not have the trained eye. So when my dad looked at it, he obviously picked it up and looked at it through a loop, and eventually he got upset with the seller because he told the seller, you basically poured out the same parcel saying that one is $600 per carat, the other one's $800 per carat. Who are you trying to trick here? And that's when I realized what my dad said was true, that this is truly a hustle. This diamond game, this jewelry industry game is a hustle. Meaning if you don't know what you're looking at, you can get fooled because at the end of the day, it's not like buying something else. For example, if you buy an iPhone, you go into an Apple store, you might pick, this one is 256 gigabytes, this one is 512 gigabytes, and this one is red, this one is blue, and that's what you get, and that's the price point. Whereas when you go buy diamonds, for example, you really can't know the difference unless you know the difference, right? If you don't know, for example, the 4 C's, the cut, the color, the clarity, and the carat weight, if you don't know how to look through a loop, if you don't know how to look for an inclusion, if you don't know how to look at the cut, if you don't know how to weigh the carats, if you don't know how to look at the color, is it lighter, is it whiter, is it warmer, is it yellow? Those will all play a factor in your purchasing decisions in terms of you could be paying a couple of $100s per carat to tens of thousands of dollars per carat. So how can you feel confident going into the diamond district to purchase inventory so you can sell it back to your customer and hopefully doing the right thing by your customer if you don't know what you're looking at? Again, it goes back to either if you have experience like my father, or you have the knowledge by going to a trade school like the Gemological Institute of America, which is what I did. The knowledge and experience of my dad came from many, many years of actually being in the trade. Going to GIA can save you years of experience right in the beginning of your journey. The knowledge and experience that you gain from your certification will always be there, and no one can ever take that away from you. Basically, if you are GIA certified, you can always hold on to it. So many people would say, well, if I want to actually improve my business, then maybe I'll just hire someone that went to GIA, or I can partner someone with that went to GIA. That is 100% true, but at the same time, guess what? That leaves you in a vulnerable situation because you're going to be highly dependent on this person, right? So I know of actually a couple that actually went to GIA. The husband went to GIA, got the certificate. Eventually, they both got a divorce, and they actually dissolved the business. So let's just say, for example, if the wife wanted to continue the business, she's actually left in a very vulnerable, uncomfortable situation, because at the end of the day, if that husband already quit and left and divorced, what will happen to her? Now, she no longer has a person with a trained eye. She no longer has a person that knows what he's looking at. So if she was to go to purchase jewelry, then what does that do? Again, it will have to require that she gain the experience over trials and tribulations for many, many years, or she will actually have to go to GIA herself. So again, yes, that is true. Many people will say they are more inclined to rather hire someone that went to GIA or partner with someone that went to GIA, but it doesn't necessarily will always end up that way. So you have to ask yourself, what are you doing? At what future costs will that cost you should that partner walk away from the business? Having the knowledge and expertise in your field means that you will always be in control, which will not only leave your business in good hands, but it will also leave your clients in good hands as well. So if you guys like what you saw there, go ahead and definitely check out our other videos. I created many Gemini videos in the past on my other channel going over the basics of jewelry, everything in terms of learning about jewelry, not jewelry business like this channel, but everything else when it comes to jewelry. Go ahead and click here if you want to learn more about the 4 C's.